I like the Suns tonight. I like them laying 6. I thought that spread was fat for how bad they've been playing this season early on and how good Minnesota has looked.
Not so fast.
Midget.
Yeah, little guy. Hey, not so fast.
This is the first game
of Booker, Beal, and KD. This is their debut together.
Yeah, that's fucking deep. Fuck Bradley Beal. He is the worst. And I'm officially off of the Suns tonight. I honestly might even fade him. Justin Herbert, I'm just going to say it. He's mid. Dak Prescott, he's a coin respecter right now. He is. Jameis Winston now.
I feel like he could go in the GOAT category just because he's Jameis.
You could tell last night. Kent State had no business winning that game. They were never winning that game. Shit bets. I cannot believe what my eyeballs witnessed on the court last night in that. What the fuck, dude?
Took Nick Bosa over 0.75 sacks. So Baker's screwed. The offensive line is screwed. Nick Bosa is going to terrorize them.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL episode 385 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Props.Cash. If you're not using Props.Cash, you're probably not smacking Five Guys 6 pieces or 5 pieces like us. Absolutely cleaning up shop, counting my guap, Javon. I'm feeling good on this Tuesday morning. Holy smokes, Tuesday afternoon. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling dangerous. I'm ready to attack this beautiful college basketball Super Tuesday slate. But before we do, we got to pat ourselves on the back here a little bit. Chat, let's fucking go. We are locked. Javon is dialed. The bets are hitting. I'm hitting bets. Life is good. All right? Ain't no complaints. W's. All right, boys? We're going to have a fucking day today. We're going to dive into these college basketball games like it's our job because it is. All right, I'm excited to do so, Javon, because it's the best college basketball slate so far of the season, the first actual college basketball Super Tuesday. We got a million great games, and we have zero excuses to find winners, all right? The squad ride is undefeated so far. We're going to get to that in a moment here in 2024. Let's first talk about Michigan because they were so free. They deserve to get gassed up a little bit here, Javon. I mean, that game last night was insane, and you called the revenge arc to a T. It was unbelievable. You talked about last year, they folded like a Dollar Tree lawn chair to your TCU Horned Frogs in the semis. We all saw it. We all knew it happened. Embarrassing. It was for Michigan, a powerhouse program. It is what it is, Javon. Well, they bounced back, and it seemed like they took that personally, and they had revenge on their mind all season. They would have beaten anybody in that spot last night. That was the big and bad Washington team, the best team in the country with the best QB. The public was all over them, the greatest team ever, and they still absolutely destroyed them, and that game was really never close. Unbelievable game from Corum. Great to see him cash there, Javon. How impressed were you with this Michigan team who was just a team of destiny, and they would have beaten the fucking Patriots if they had to. They would have beaten the Chiefs in the Natty if they had to. They weren't losing to anybody last night.
Yeah, they were really good. And, I mean, that's the first time really that we've seen, I mean, in 2 years, I guess you could even say, that Washington offense just looked the slightest bit human. Because even when they lost, like, in the Pac-12, like, not this year, obviously, but last year, like, they looked impressive in doing it. It was just the defense that was the issue. And that's the reason that, you know, I could really never buy into Washington this year. And they proved me wrong time and time again until last night. But that Michigan defense is something special. I mean, that's one of the better units I think we've seen in college football in recent history. So, I mean, they were impressive even when J.J. McCarthy was playing like mid because he is mid. It all held up behind them. I mean, that's one of the greatest wide receiving cores that I think we've seen in recent history in college football too, and they shut them down. I mean, other than a couple McMillan catches, Adunze caught one bomb. I guess you can say two technically. The one got called back for a penalty or offsetting penalties, whatever you want to call it. They shut them down. Michael Penix and that whole system got shut down, so they did their job. And the Michigan run game was just—it's always so steady. You love to see it.
I mean, domination. Great call on that Edwards first touchdown. My goodness, literally scripted. Javon had the fucking natty. He already saw it. Okay, you literally time traveled there and called that one. Great call. An absolute dynamic running back show from the Michigan boys. We saw Corum, cash, fantasy score was free. 2 touchdowns was free. The squares play on earth. He still fucking found a way to hit. I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it.
That was
it's unbelievable.
An insane cash. But yeah, we did pretty well last night. We had the script.
We did.
I needed it because outside of the national championship and then maybe like 1 or 2 plays in the NBA slate, I think I missed everything else that was not national championship related. So glad we were dialed. Glad we were dialed there.
The plays that mattered hits. The squad ride hits. We came up with drive milk tick. That matters more. Okay, guys, drive milk tick. If you guys missed sweats last night, you missed a good one. All right, we were smacking bets. We were counting our guap. and we were having an absolute time. So W's will definitely run another sweats this week like that. We got a Lenny Bong subby coming in. Let's go. We got Noah Thornton, 34, resubbing, 20 months. Love to see that, almost 2 years. AO100's coming in, gifting out a sub to the community. Love to see that. We got Fruity's Burner coming in, resubbing, 12 months. Happy 1 year, Fruity's Burner. That could be him. That could be Fruity. We got Ron Muck and Clam leaving us off with a sub bang last night. Typical. Not surprised one bit. Good to see that, Ron. I'm sure you're in here chilling. Let me know what you're on today.
Can we talk about Donovan Edwards real quick?
Sure.
And Javon's call. I'm going to play this clip.
I'll tell you what this screams. Like, I think Corum still gets his yards, but this square screams to me there's going to be a big run early in the game from Michigan, and you're going to look up and be like, oh, surely it's Corum. No, it's probably going to be Donovan Edwards.
Wow.
I locked in that bet as soon as he said that. First TD, Donovan Edwards.
That's a great thing.
Insane.
Unbelievable call. Just literally scripted to a T. Unbelievable work. Straight up. Let's have some reads like that today, can we?
I looked up and it wasn't Blake Corum. I'm like, who's that?
I think Krabs on Sweats might have said that exactly. He's like, oh my God, is that Corum? He's like, no.
Well, you can hear at the end of this clip. At the end of this clip, he's like, oh.
Yeah, because I was all in on Corum, and he still found a way to catch. Unbelievable.
Still found a way.
Yeah.
What a night. What a night. W call, great clip there. Goods, great fucking work. You're absolutely dialed as well. We got a subby from Non-Basic Gamer, 2 years. Let's go, Beast. 2-piece. Hold the fry. We got Splash Wet Wet coming in, giving out a subby to the community. W's. Len Bong giving out a subby. What's up, Lenny? Sure. For a second there, I thought that was Ron Rivera, and I got PTSD, but that might be something worse. Jim Harbaugh in a Commanders coaching fit. I mean, Javon, I don't think he's going anywhere, brother, but do you think there's a chance he actually goes to the league? I know there were some comments last night at the end of the game that made it seem like he was coming back. Maybe he did that on purpose. Maybe he's just doesn't want to, expose anything or throw his team under the bus saying he's about to leave, right after they win a championship. I don't know. I don't think those comments matter that much. But there's going to be teams going to him with a blank check saying, hey, come change our program. And I know the Raiders are very interested. The Commanders, I'm sure, are going to make a call. What are your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh? Do you think we see him back in Michigan next year, trying to run it back, or is he going to be going to the league?
I kind of lean that he's going to stay at Michigan, but I mean, I can tell you if he's going to the league, he's probably not going to be wearing that big W on his hat. I think the only two viable options are going to be the Chargers and Bears, the bottom two there. I think Antonio Pierce is going to stay in Las Vegas, and the Commanders should have a new target. Starting today, which it's probably going to be very, very difficult for them to pull that. But I think the very clear best Commanders fit would be the guy who just got fired this morning.
Do you?
I mean, he has a one-way ticket to New England, but I mean, he's a great defensive mind he needs an elite offensive mind to be his OC. And if they can somehow get Eric Bieniemy to stay, if they hire Mike Vrabel, I mean, I'm very aware of the New England situation, and it's seeming all very likely, but if the Commanders could somehow pull something out of their ass to get him swayed over there, that would be elite.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Do you think the Patriots are going to want to bring in Bill Belichick 2.0 if they get rid of Bill Belichick? You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's just like the thing, like, I feel like the Patriots to some degree want to keep like the identity of like the Patriots organization, which Vrabel could obviously uphold. But I mean, I would be very sure the Commanders want to work on someone that would change the entire culture of the organization, which Mike Vrabel would very easily do. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll find out.
Mr. Beast, I respectfully disagree. That locker room is hectic. The players didn't fuck with them. It's chaos. Nothing changed this year with Bieniemy besides some better offense early on in the season. But the offense completely fell apart down the stretch, and I unfortunately do not think he earned the head coaching job. I don't.
Yeah.
Would I like to see him stay potentially and pair up with a defensive mind like Vrabel? Sure.
I think if by the grace of God, the Commanders can get Mike Vrabel hired and they keep Bieniemy with him, that will be one of the best hires that we've seen in the last couple of years in the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
Somehow, some way.
All right. Yeah, all my boys are buzzing. They all want Vrabel. I don't know if I'm sold there yet. I still kind of want one of these young geniuses, one of these young new football minds, maybe a guy like McDonald from Baltimore who's starting to gain some traction. I don't know.
See,
I mean, I
I don't
definitely
think
wouldn't be
that
complaining
works, though.
about Vrabel. You don't think it would work?
Because, like I said, they need a good coach, obviously, but they need a culture change, and I don't think until they get a guy who does that, like a complete overhaul of what that organization is, I don't think much is going to change. Respectfully, so
I agree. And you probably didn't
Mike
see.
Vrabel would do it like that.
Yep. I mean, he would just kick the players off the team who are pieces of shit. He doesn't stand for that. And the problem is, these exit interviews to the Commanders. I mean, this is stuff that only I see and nobody else does because I'm on Commanders Twitter. It was sacked. It's all the players bitching. It's all the players complaining about stuff they should have done during the year, stuff that should be said in house during the season. When you look your coach in the eyes and you say it to him like a fucking man, and not just to the media after the season when you're bitching after a terrible year. It's really pathetic. It honestly is, and it happens every year. The culture didn't change at all when Ron was here. Sure, Ron kept them afloat, I guess, and is a good person and was a good figurehead and the leader of that team. Sure. But nothing fucking changed. There's still the laziest, most dysfunctional locker room in the NFL, and that showed once again in the exit interviews. So maybe they do need to bring in a guy like Mike Vrabel who's not going to put up with any of that bullshit.
Yeah,
okay.
they need a guy like that.
Okay.
They need a guy who would cut his Johnson off for a Super Bowl, crap.
Yeah, and that's the kind of guy I want to be my head coach, like I've said before. Yep. So you know what? I'm fucking him. Give me Mike Vrabel. That's the kind of heart and dedication that I want from a coach. That's sacrifice. It is. W's. Give me Vrabel in DC. That could change everything, folks.
That would change. I would buy in so quickly.
And let's change the name. Can we change the name too? Because it's shit.
Yeah.
Please.
What
Let's get a little thumbs up on there. Let's go.
What is that?
There it is.
What is that?
Dang.
Is that from
bro,
your camera?
I don't know. With these TikTok cameras, bro, they be getting me. Yeah, there it is. Squad rides are perfect in the new year. Let's fucking go. Bro. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know what to tell you. But when I put my hands up, weird shit happens on the camera. So I'll keep the hands down. Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay.
Unreal.
Let's move. Oh, it's a Twitch thing. Okay, Devin.
Is it a Twitch thing?
Javon, throw those thumbs up, brother.
Oh, my God.
Oh, whoa, there it is.
What are we doing?
There it is.
How did we get here?
Okay. Sure. How did we get here?
How did we get here? That's unreal.
What has BTL become? W's chats. We got Ron coming in and giving out another subby to the community. We got a hype train absolutely cooking at level 3. If you guys are feeling generous, if you guys cashed last night from all our million winners, why don't you drop a subby to the boys? We got 1,000 people in here. You guys want some winners for today? We're going to give them to you. All right. We got DM Mart123 getting out a sub bang as well. We got Bussin on a stack coming in with a subby, resubbing with Prime. Love to see that. The boys are buzzing. W's. Okay, let's go ahead and power through these W recaps really quick. All right, Goots. Appreciate you. Let's go ahead and roll it back. Yes, Squad Ride W, Penguins ML. I guess I do know ice. Love to see it.
You carried my weight for me.
Yeah.
Carried my weight for me.
Look, we all have those days, but to be honest with you, your reads on Prize Picks, your reads in the Natty were all that mattered, and they got the job done. So I carry with the Squad Ride there, and we move. Chats, we need the Chiefs to get a big-time win this Saturday to cash that 2-unit parlay that I sent. But you guys also saw I nuked for 4 units. Michigan ML right before the kickoff. Had to be done. Okay. Javon, we move. I like your chances today. We're going to lean on your straight bets. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not putting that Celtics over in here. So that was air.
I know. Air. I know. All right. And then, yes, a 5 guys bang. How about it, chats? 200 to win $2,200. What do you say? How about this puppy? Another 5 guys cash. Javon, I believe this is our second cash of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think we might have 3.
Do we have a 3-piece?
I feel like we have 3. I could be tripping, but I think we have 3.
I know we have 2 Hail Marys, and we have at least 2 5 guys, maybe 3. I'll have to go back and check the Carfax. Okay. Buying 5 guys with the 5 guys lay. Yeah, 5 guys is expensive. You might need to hit one of these to get a 5 guys straight up. Unbelievable. All right. W's. Great fucking call, Javon. I hated the Rashad White square. It smacked. That's called trust chat. Like Corum was free, and so were the other 3 plays. Great fucking work, dudes. Let's run this back and hit another 5 guys this weekend. Why not us?
Yep.
Why not us? Okay. CJ Watts coming in, resubbing 1 month. Welcome to the fucking show, CJ. W's. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying BTL. Let me know what the heck you're betting on today. All right. And yeah, Mima did come in clutch with Rashad. Was never in doubt.
That was the only one we really needed some Mima on was Rashad. Everything else was pretty air for the most part.
100%. Agreed. Let's move. Let's groove. Okay. King of the board really quick. Looks like I got a leg up on you. Maybe this is cursed for you, this challenge. It could be. People were talking. But I'm sure you'll bounce back with some winners today. We have plenty of college basketball. Insane matchups. I'm sure you're going to have at least a play. I'm probably going to have at least 2 today as well, chat. So stay posted for King of the Boards. Okay. We'll lock these in on stream today at some point. All right. Steam Crabs. This one's going to be quick because I'm really not that mad. I'm still counting my glot from last night. But Goots, run that shit. I got one thing to bitch about. Well, Chad, it was almost a perfect night for me. Almost. If fucking Johnson didn't drop that 20-yard catch at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, Javon, that cost us this 4-man that we crafted up that was so surgical. And I couldn't find the freaking clip of him dropping that pass, but I don't even want to relive it anyway, so we don't have to. But Cornelius Johnson, who got out to a great start early in the game, had 3.8 points in the first drive. I thought he was going to be the freest one in the first to cash. We know what happens to those puppies. They never fucking hit. Those are always the ones that end up getting hooked. And everything else in this entry was absolutely free. I mean, Donovan Edwards, Javon, 104 rushing yards. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That kid was
essentially the greatest square of all time.
It's up there in the running. Yep, definitely honorable mention. Jack Westover was air. He turned into Gronk last night. That was sick. And then Romo Dunze, it was never him. He's not him. Less than 95.5 receiving yards. God. Johnson, man. Chad, I know you guys remember watching from Sweats last night. He had it. He had it in his hands, a 20-yard catch to cash this, and he dropped the ball. Cornelius Johnson, you're a beast. Absolute stud of a receiver for Michigan, and I'm happy you got your fucking championship. You got your ring on. You don't give a hoot that you dropped that pass, but I do. All right, I do, and you cost me some coins. You cost me a rack, but we moved, Javon, and all the other winners cancel this puppy out. All right?
Yep.
Sure. Let's move. Let's groove. We got plenty of games today. Too many to be spending on this recap for 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and move and pivot, Javon, and let's cut the shit and dive right into CBB. Why not us?
Okay. Why not?
We got some great games. We have some really good ranked matchups, but we also got some good games like the first one of the day, Columbia Cornell's. And he plays here, Javon. And is Columbia an Ivy League school, or are they one of those fake Ivies?
No, they're an Ivy League school, right?
They're Ivy? Okay. Yeah. I always forget about Columbia's. Columbia, Cornell laying 12 points. Both these teams have got off to a pretty damn good start this season, to be honest with you. Cornell has been solid in the past in the Ivy. Columbia, not typically. Probably why Cornell's laying 12 here at home. We know the Ivy League home teams almost always win. Cornell laying a fat number here. And that total is moving up too. Surprising to see a total that high between two Ivies, and surprised to see it moving up. Seems like we're expecting a lot of points here. And with that spread moving towards Cornell, I would lean those boys at home to take care of business and smack down a Columbia program that's simply not that guy, but has gotten off to a good start this season.
Yeah, and they've gotten off to a good start because, frankly, they've been playing shitters for a majority of their non-conference outside of, I think they played Providence earlier in the season. And then other than that, Cornell's gone and they've played some pretty tough games, especially recently in the non-conference. So, they're definitely more battle-tested. So, with this total moving up, the over, even though it is a little high, might seem a little obvious. So maybe it's just a Cornell muck session.
I think it is.
Say that. I'd say Cornell, if anything.
Okay. What about Seton Hall and Georgetown? Seton Hall, don't let them get hot. It literally might be too late. They're on fuego. They're coming off a nice little outright win against Marquette at home, one of the better teams in the country. Anytime anyone beats Marquette, it definitely puts me on notice for sure. And I've had my eyes on the Seton Hall team that has a bunch of really good guards. Holloway coming over from St. Peter's is starting to build up this program. I think he's a pretty good coach. And that team's pretty solid, but I definitely lean Georgetown here with Seton Hall coming off that big time win against Marquette. Before that, they went into Providence and got a win at the rack. Are you kidding me? How often does that happen? They got an outright win. It's plus 6.5 dogs there before that. Georgetown, sure, they're coming off a win against DePaul, but it was only by 3 points, and DePaul is terrible. And before that, they lost 3 games in a row. This team has not been covering. Georgetown, after starting out kind of hot with Ed Cooley in the beginning of the season, has started to cool off now, but I still lean them at home with the points against the Seton Hall team coming off of 2 great wins. Buy low on Georgetown, sell high on Seton Hall Pirates.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Georgetown today. And I mean, there's probably not a more impressive stretch of 2 games that you can get for a Big East team in probably any scenario this year than a win at Providence, and then you go back and you host Marquette and you beat them too. Like, yeah, that's something that not many teams, probably Seton Hall's going to be the only team to say they have a resume that impressive within the stretch of a week. So now they're going to Georgetown, where it's weird because, like you talk about, Seton Hall pretty built on guard play, even though like against Marquette, weirdly, they were super physical inside and like dominated the boards. I don't think that's going to be the case. Like, Georgetown's defense is actually pretty solid, and they're also great at defending the 3-point line, which Seton Hall is not like they're not the Warriors or anything. So it's not like a strength versus strength matchup necessarily, but for a team built on guard play, if you're consistently running them off the line, and I don't really think they're built to be like super physical and get to the rim at a ridiculously high clip, that's a tricky spot. So like, I think this is a pretty gross game that Georgetown's defense, keeps it pretty close. Honestly, I think this looks like the Providence game minus the big injury in the center of it, hopefully. But I think it's gross. I think you keep it close.
Agreed. Give me Georgetown. Give me the points. Right now, it's a lean. TBD if I'm going to get to the counter with that one. There's just too many freaking plays today, chat. There's too many plays. Plain and simple. Too many plays. All right, cut the shit, Javon. We got Iowa State and Houston. All right, nothing else matters. Chat, what the fuck is up with this line? Someone tell me what is going on. Okay, the Cyclones, sure. All right, they have a damn good record. They have a pretty good team. They've had a good program for the last decade, pretty much since I've been seriously following college basketball. Defensive-minded, solid, scrappy, pulling off upsets left and right. And this Iowa State team can actually score a little bit too. Houston, easily the best team in college basketball this season. They're still undefeated. Not only are they undefeated, they are destroying teams. For a Houston team to be 8-5-1 ATS, they got to be clobbering squads because odds makers in the books are not here to lose money, especially on a public team like Houston that everybody knows is good. So they've been absolutely destroying everybody, but they've got a tough contest here on the road at Iowa State, who's coming off an embarrassing loss to Oklahoma in a game that they should have won in a sharp spot that we were all on and got burnt. Nobody's going to want to go back to Iowa State today. Everyone's going to want to back Houston as a short favorite. That is the square POD. We fade. We back Iowa State at home in the Cyclones and back Lipsy and Gilbert, 2 stud guards for Iowa State who have really stepped up this season. We back those 2 Bulls to carry Iowa State at home and get an outright win. I don't even know if we need the points.
Yeah, it might not, but you gladly take them in a game like this where even, I guess, a square as a base team too, I wouldn't mind a stab at the under. I just think it's going to be that type of game. And I wouldn't consider like taking a stab if this was almost anybody else in the Big 12 with this line right now, except for Iowa State, because anybody else, like, they're not used to this style of play. Like, Iowa State plays Houston game. Houston just does it much better than them. But this is like a play style that Iowa State is very familiar with because they have to do it themselves on both sides of the ball. So this is not like a shell shock game where you have, Houston going immediately in the first Big 12 road game to like Baylor, who wants to get in a track meet with you, or even like a TCU who wants to do the same thing. But this is Iowa State's game. So like they're going to be fine playing it. And you also, on both sides of it, I would love to fade. You had the biggest spread that the Big 12 has had in almost 10 years. Last weekend, Houston at West Virginia, they covered very comfortably. Thought it was very telling. So now you're not going to show them any line respect. Plus, this is also their first Big 12 game on the road that they've ever played, which I was talking with DeGen a little earlier because he didn't realize, I know like UCF was doing the same thing at Kansas State and they got blasted by 20. Like, as much as we love to say Houston is very, very good, which they are, this is a new era and like a level of competition for them. So we'll see them blitz out of the gate. This is a really good defense in Houston or in Iowa State too, and they're also bigger. That's like the difference of Houston this year. Like Houston, their defense is always good, but they usually have some size, like 3 to 5. Mm-hmm. They're pretty small this year. And like Iowa State's going to give you 6'7" at the 3, 6'8" at the 4, 7 foot at the 5 a majority of the time. Like They're a little bigger. So it's definitely going to be more of a size and physicality advantage at times for Iowa State than I think people realize.
Okay. Yeah, they got plenty of big forwards. I don't think they have like a 7'1" center, Iowa State, but they got plenty of size and plenty of depth. This team plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, more than 17 minutes. Okay, they're not the deepest team in college basketball, but they do have some depth, and they've got an absolute squad of fucking dogs who on their home court welcoming in Houston for their first road game in this conference. Welcome to the fucking show. I'm sure they're going to welcome and show them the ropes of this conference and hand them a fat L on their home court, bouncing back after that Oklahoma loss last week that they should have won that game. They handed it to them. They didn't take it. They get their revenge today, coming off a loss, and Houston gets their first loss of the season against the Cyclones. Sure, we will take the 2.5 points. I think I saw them at 4.5 when they opened up briefly. Take the points. All right, the low total. We might need them, but I do think the Cyclones win this game outright. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Let's move. Let's groove. That's one of my favorite plays of the day. All right. Missouri and Kentucky coming off that crazy comeback win. I'm still pissed about it. I'm still mad that Clemson lost that game on Saturday. I'm still mad that Florida lost that game on Saturday, but I'll leave it at that. Missouri, not a great start to the season for them. A lot of expectations for this Mizzou team after a great year last season, and they really have not lived up to the hype, Javon. Is this a buy low spot on Mizzou, or are you completely out on this team? Kentucky, this is a nice little fade spot with Kentucky after them coming off that comeback win on the road.
Yeah, it could be. I don't really want to get involved, though. I think that Missouri team just is bad. It's like the only reason people are betting on them is because they have, visions of what they were last year. So I don't really want to get involved. Like, they're so soft on the interior, which a lot of that is Vanover is absolutely garbage. That was like one of the worst big transfers of, the college basketball transfer portal offseason, whatever you want to call it. So, like, Kentucky's big problem is kind of the same thing. So if you get a team that matches up kind of perfectly with that, they'll be all right. So, like, I'm not going to take Kentucky. I'm not going to get involved, but I would not get cute with Mizzou.
Okay. Don't get cute with Mizzou. Maybe we just sit it out and wait, and let's see how good this Mizzou team really is a couple games into conference play, because they lost their first conference game to Georgia. Can't be losing to Georgia as a -5 favorite. Come on. The spot screams Mizzou. That is a lot of points, though. But Kentucky has been a covering machine, 9-4 ATS. They've won 1 million games in a row. They've covered 1 million games in a row. Definitely lean Mizzou, but not going to get to the counter probably with this one, because I'm with you. Maybe people are still thinking this is the same Mizzou team from last year until we see it on the court at least once. Let's hold back and relax for a second. Okay. Yeah. Noah Carter can only do so much in the paint. He's a forward trying to play a center, right? Stop.
It's exactly
he's going to have his hands full today. Yeah, he's going to have his hands full today against Kentucky. Jeesh. Okay. South Carolina, Bama. Do you agree with me that this spread is pretty fat? I know it's Bama. I know they have high expectations, but they have not lived up to them. They're 9-5 right now. South Carolina, one of the biggest overperformers of the season, one of the biggest surprises of the season early on in college basketball. They are on absolute fire. Looks like Bama is starting to get back on track here. They have won their last 3 games, but they haven't even all been pretty, and 2 of them were against crummy teams. Their last win was a 3-point win where they snuck out a W on the road against a bad Vanderbilt team. Ugh, not great right now for Alabama. But this spread tells me that they win this game by 1 million today against a South Carolina team that cannot keep getting away with it. They're going to get exposed today, and we're going to find out the true Gamecock squad is not a 13-1 team in the SEC. Simply not. Just got off to a great start. You got to tip your cap, but Alabama's going to put them in their place today. Spread out from 10.5 to 11.5. I like Bama. I think they roll, and I might get to the counter with this puppy.
Yeah, it does feel. I was going to say this, like Rose was saying, it feels very Tennessee, Ole Miss, line-ish.
Yes.
Just with, I guess you could even say a worse team in Alabama. So I would be perfectly fine saying that Alabama's going to win this game by a lot. And maybe they finally have like their big Alabama performance, because they've looked pretty average so far this year. And especially like coming out flat on the road. I know like at Vanderbilt, that's a pretty tough place to play, weirdly, for a lot of these SEC teams. But that was a flat performance that they had, sneaking out the little 3-point win. Maybe they come back home and they have a big performance and they look great.
Check out this Phil's Milk from Aldo Gelato. Yeah. In 10 seasons, Kelvin Sampson is 0-4 in true road games against KenPom top 18 teams. And would you look at that? The Cyclones are number 18. Sure.
I mean,
let's get it done. I'll be honest, I don't love that trend because my contrarian ass wants to fade it, but I like everything else about Iowa State.
It's all non-conference, though. It's the thing. I doubt they've had any in-conference that fit that bill.
That is true. All right, and yeah, chats, my guy Buckshot Bits. We will talk about Buffalo when it pops up on the screen. I promise. Okay, let's talk about Texas and Cincy first, though, Javon. How about Cincy and the Bearcats laying 5 against a ranked Texas team? I know the system of betting home teams as favorites against ranked squads has not been as profitable this season after it was an absolute cash cow last year and everybody hopped on that train. But I still want to take Cincinnati here. I like the Cincinnati team. I think they have one of the most underrated coaches in college basketball. You've seen how adamant he's been this year in his post-game pressers, talking about getting his guys back, talking about their effort levels. They're bringing it. Cincinnati is. And they're coming off a nice little win as +10 outright dogs at BYU, where they stuffed them in a fucking locker. They've won 4 games in a row. Now, I don't love that Texas is coming off a loss as a favorites. I really don't love the spot here with both these teams, but I cannot ignore Cincinnati being a 4.5-point/5-point favorite now. Depends where you look, against a ranked Texas team that was an absolute wagon last year that I think completely fell off and is not that guy. Sorry, Lauren. I just don't think this Texas team is very good. I don't even think they should be ranked. Cincinnati is the better team right now, and that's why they're laying 5, and I'm going to lay it with them.
Yeah, I'm not laying Cincy today. I'll tell you that much. Which I am first team all Texas is fraudulent and not very good too. And I don't really think that's going to change regardless how this game plays, but I can't get myself to buy in after Cincy just had one as a double-digit dog on the road at BYU, and Texas lost as, 7-point home favorites against Texas Tech. It's like 2 teams going in very opposite directions. I know the system, ranked underdog at home ranked favorite, or home unranked favorite. So I'm not going to fade it necessarily. It just feels like if there's one spot that seems overly obvious today that I don't know if I can get with, it's probably this one, because everything in the slightest points to Cincinnati, especially like matchup wise. Somebody was saying in chat, like, they're much more physical than Texas, which is why BYU had problems with them. And they're built kind of similarly guard wise. And then on the inside, like, it's a lot of athletic wings. And you have Aziz in there for Cincinnati, who I don't really realistically know who for Texas is going to be able to stop them. I know they're getting healthier down there, so they have more of their guys back, but that's where the matchup advantage lies. It's just in this game, first, true test against a Big 12 team that's kind of been here in this conference before. I don't know if I want to go to Cincinnati.
That's fair. And I've definitely seen a lot of Cincinnati wagers today. Not going to lie.
I think I've seen more than like Iowa State and Kansas State, which is odd. I mean, the two plays that I guess would more seem a little more obvious, but I've seen Cincy on the timeline a good bit, which is not making me feel great.
Interesting. Very interesting. Don't love that. Texas +4.5 looking like a free lay piece. I don't know, Devin. I wouldn't be going around betting Texas.
I don't know who
just stay
wants
off.
to bet Texas right now.
Yeah,
I don't think a single person. I don't think a single person thinks that team is legit, and I don't either. It's just
now the splits look good for Cincinnati. I guess not on the ML though, but they're -205. But on the spread, the splits look good for Cincinnati. 32% of bets, 55% handle. But Twitter is chaos. I'm like, everyone listens. Yeah, I get it. I still like that now. I might be with the people here. I might be with the Twitter folk. On Cincy, I really like it. I like the play, and these system plays with the home team unranked as a favorite against a ranked team have not been profitable this season. I've seen people bitching about it. People are going to be hopping off that system. I'll give it one more try on Cincy today. All right, maybe finding something to parlay it with. Back now, 10s.
Back now.
Okay. Good now, we good? Okay. Cincy, maybe I find something to moneyline parlay it with if there's another spot like this today. But if not, I'm going to lay it with Cincy. But I understand
I could Socio win and no cover in this game.
I understand the concerns. Yes, and I can see that too, 100%. 100%. All right, let's keep on moving. We got a lot of plays to talk about. West Virginia being +2 is hilarious. Anything in Akron, Ball State, or no?
No.
Okay. West Virginia being +2 is hilarious. Let's just cut the shit and get right to that. I know it's West Virginia, but they don't have Huggins. They don't have anybody. This team stinks. This team has been getting destroyed. This West Virginia squad can't hang with anybody. They just lost by 40 points to Houston's in their last game. They've lost 4 of 5. They're 6-8 ATS. this team is bad. Kansas State, on the other hand, they win and cover every fucking game. It's so annoying. They're coming off of 3 straight wins, but they haven't really played that great a competition so far this season. I think West Virginia has played a tougher schedule, to be honest with you, and they've just been getting absolutely crushed. I like West Virginia here as a short dog. Obviously, just a line play. It's nasty. I know West Virginia stinks, but they're still going to have that crazy home court advantage. They're still going to be pressing, and I think they might give these Kansas State guards and Tyler Perry a little bit of trouble bringing the ball up a little bit. I'm going to take my chances and back the Mountaineers when they should be +10, when they're +2 at home against a team that's on fuego in Kansas State, who I think is a little bit fraudulent and is still a little bit lucky, and people have the same perception of that team from last year when they had 2 more stud guards that are gone now. I don't think they're the same team. They have the same record-ish, but I don't think they're the same team. I don't think they're as good, and I want to fade now while we still can when they're on fire. Sure. Yeah, they don't play well in Morgantown, but nobody does.
Yeah, nobody really does. It's a tough place to play.
Who plays well in West Virginia, bro? That's one of the best home court advantages in all of college basketball, and that's another reason why I want to take it today.
Yeah, I mean, it is their second true road game too. Like Marty's saying, their only road game they've played so far is at LSU against that Moose Piss team. And they did win comfortably, but I'll tell you what's going to be the difference. Tyler Perry and Cam Carter, not even just when they're on the road, but when they're away from home, they have been dog meat. Like they have been bad. And first of all, like Tyler Perry, I think he's just not very good. He's another one of the disappointing transfers. I mean, the dude goes out there and puts up tour dates pretty much every single night. So like against West Virginia's perimeter defense, which I think is better than a lot of people give it credit for, I think he's going to struggle, especially in Morgantown, where, like I said, their shooting splits are both very, very dramatic. And the only reason they dominated that game against LSU, first of all, is because I think LSU is even worse than West Virginia. But Arthur Kaluma looked like Shaq. So like he had like a 20-12 or something like that. So like that was their crutch in that game against whoever was back up, because Will Baker, I think, sat for a little bit of that game too. So like I don't think you're gonna be able to do that against West Virginia. And I think the key to this game would be Jesse Edwards if they had Jesse Edwards, but he hasn't played in a month. So like the fact that they're still +2 without their main centerpiece of their offense is interesting. So like I think it's gonna have to be, I know a couple people have mentioned it and I can 100% get with it. It's Raekwon Battle Day. It's Raekwon Battle Day.
Say his name again.
Yeah, got to say his name. And I got very close to fading him because the chart was all greened out in that Houston game, which he got in foul trouble in that game. So it wasn't like a true like dud that he put up. But needless to say, I mean, 15.5 line, a little bit of a Houston tax in that game. Now he's up to 16.5. Somebody's going to have to do it. And it's going to have to be Raekwon Battle. If they let him get hot, this game is over for Kansas State.
And sure, he only played 23 minutes in that game. Yes, he was in a little bit of foul trouble. Yes, it was a blowout, and he didn't even really need to play in the second half that much anyways. But he did shoot 1 for 9 in that game. Disgustingly bad shooting performance. Before that, I mean, he dropped 29, 29, and 24. He was on fuego as soon as he got eligible immediately. Right off the rip, he's been on fire coming off a bad game. We back him here. The total's moving up. It's already a spec higher than I thought it would be at West Virginia. I think it's going to be Battle carrying the offense. I'm with you. People are talking about Farrakhan in chat. Any opinions on him?
I like him. I think he's going to have to be more of the distributor to Raekwon Battle. It's like if we want to back him, I wouldn't mind taking like assists. I haven't looked to see if that's up on the prize picks board. And yeah, this isn't the first time K-State has seen Battle. First time they saw him, he dropped 27 on their heads last time in the tournament.
Whoa.
So he's back for blood. He knows he's not scared of this team.
He should have some confidence then. Good.
He should have some confidence. I mean, he tore them to shreds for a majority of that game. So yeah, I'm down to back Raekwon Battle absolutely in this game. And Farrakhan, does he have? Or he doesn't have? He only has points in PRA. It's kind of tough. I love Farrakhan assists in this game.
All right. Doesn't 16.5 feel low though? If he's been putting up 25 plus, I mean, dude, he's only played 4 games this year, and they're not going to put him at like 20. Look at the rest of the guys on the boards. Like, what is the highest point square today? Antonio Reeves, 18.5. He's one of the best players in the fucking country right now. I mean, looking at these other guys, like there's not really there's nobody even in the 20s, chat. So it's college basketball, not NBA. Remember, like it's just way less points. And to be honest with you, 16.5 is pretty fucking hot for a points problem in college basketball. So
especially in the Big 12, like in the Big 12, these teams are. This is probably one of the higher lines you're going to see from anybody. pretty consistently. So like,
Okay.
he's a little higher today. I think it's for a reason.
All right, good. We're gonna need him to ball. If he doesn't, they have zero chance.
It's only Edie's at 21. That's it. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
W Goots research. Great work. As always. Yeah, Zach Edey, the only one in the 20s because it's college basketball and points are hard to come by. All right. Are you going to be on West Virginia today?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it. It's partially because like I have to fade the fallout, like I said, with Houston of the 21 spread game that got comfortably covered. So on both sides, I would love to zigzag that today.
Okay, let's run it. I'm in. Keep on moving, keep on grooving. Davidson and Rhode Island. Any opinions here, Javon? Davidson laying 5.5 against a fake sharp Rhode Island team every single game.
Yeah, I despise Rhode Island games. So I haven't really got burned by them. It's just every time I think about it, I look and I'm like, yep, I was fucking wrong about how that was going to turn out. So
yep,
not going to jump in today.
Just do the opposite for Rhode Island.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that game.
Okay. Yep, Davidson is also the worst. I can't stand them. So I'm good on that game too. To be honest, though, I lean Rhode Island, but definitely will not begin to the counter because they are fake sharp every damn day. Every damn day. So I'm good on that. All right. We got a sub bang from Moose 2727 coming in for the 20th month. Let's get these winners. Yes, sir, Moose. Yes, sir. We got you covered. Okay. What about fading Hunter Salas? You shut your mouth, Austin. You take that back.
Fade Hunter Salas in this household.
You take that back. Are you crazy?
He's probably green, though. That's probably what he's asking.
Fade Cartier. If I fade Cartier one more time, I'm going to be broke.
Oh, sneakily.
Be broke. Whoa.
Might have to.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely talk about that when we get to Colorado State. I'm more than down to depict that. Especially after looking at the look in your eye right now.
That's a low line. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Maybe we do got to fade this Mov. He's such a goat, though.
Yeah, he is a goat.
He's such a goat. Parlay Safari on Colorado State. Wow.
They have some new squares for college basketball up.
They do. They got turnover
steals
squares.
And turnovers. Maybe some more.
Sure. Okay. Somebody in chat, give me a steal square. Get to work. They got Lipsley up for 2.5 steals, bro.
They got Kerr Kriisa up for a steal, I bet.
Xavier Johnson, an absolute beast.
Kerr Kriisa steal is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, what the? We might need that steal. That steal could be make or break.
That could be a huge steal. Oh, Misi's
is that chart correct?
Sure. Yeah, the chart actually is correct. I just double checked for Kerr.
Yeah. Well, let's pull that one up real quick, dudes. That one might be crazier than the one on the screen, which I don't even know if that's possible.
Because even though they have like these available for college.
Sure. We're definitely gonna have to dive into these puppies.
Yeah.
Okay. Shame they don't have Reed Shepherd. He's prime Kawhi. Damn. All right. Let's keep on moving now. Let's keep on moving and grooving. We got plenty of other games to go through here, chat. We cannot just stick on Missy less than half a steal. Here we go. VCU George Masons. That's a damn good game today. Thoughts on this game? Any opinions or no?
I mean, I kind of line would tell me VCU, and I think they match up decently well enough to keep it close. But I mean, they're sharp every game, so I don't know if I'm going to get involved. But definitely not taking George Mason.
I'm with you. Lean VCU. Don't want to fade the George Mason wagon right now with those 2X Hokies because they just keep on winning. But definitely lean with the road dog there as a short plus 3.5 point dog. All right. Indiana Rutgers. I like Rutgers in this spot. Indiana coming off that big time win. Rutgers, I believe, coming off of a loss or at least some losses. Yep, 2 straight losses. The Ohio State one, I give them a pass for on the roads, but losing to Iowa back-to-back there is also tough as +6 dogs. This Rutgers team, not that great, not that special, but they are a -3.5 point favorite today, Javon, against an Indiana team coming off a big win, an Indiana team with a big record, Indiana team that just beat that Ohio State team that Rutgers just lost to the other day. They've won 4 of 5, but we know what happens when Indiana leads Assembly Hall. They lose. They lose their powers. They lose the game. They don't cover the spread. I want to take Rutgers here. I think it's hilarious that they're a favorite and that line is moving up. I understand that it's, this conference, the home team fucking wins, right? That's just how it goes. But the line is talking to me here, and I want to lay it with Rutgers.
Yeah, and I mean, I see MJ in here on the first half under. Maybe it was for this game, or maybe it was from the other one. But I was going to say, like, these teams have been playing a little more offensive basketball lately than I think a lot of people realize, which part of that is because, like, Rutgers they went to Iowa, which is obviously going to be a higher tempo game, and they played Ohio State, who's been scoring, and it's kind of same thing on the other side with Indiana, which their defense is definitely no Rutgers defense, but the one thing you can usually count on is Rutgers defense showing up at home. So, like, I think this could be a potential return to normalcy game for Rutgers and their defense, and they finally make this like a grinded out game. So I don't mind an under.
Okay. Who's your daddy coming in with some intel here? Rutgers Stadium might be empty, state of emergency for weather. Definitely have to monitor that. Didn't think we had a weatherman for college basketball, but we do, and that's a great point. There's some nasty weather up here. On the East Coast and up north, Javon, coming up from, I guess, whatever was in Houston yesterday down there by you guys. Yeah, definitely want to make sure that they have home fans, because if they don't, this spread will probably move back. And I don't even know if I'm going to want to bet Rutgers, because half this bet is just fading Indiana on the roads and betting on them to be nervous as heck and turning the ball over and making mistakes on the road, because when they leave Assembly Hall, they lose their powers.
Yeah.
Okay? Definitely needs to wait on that one, and let's see what happens. That'll probably be a bet I lock in right before tip. But as of right now, if there are going to be fans, I will be on Rutgers in that spot. Okay. Yale Brown, anything there?
No.
Okay. How about Florida State and the Seminoles? Only +3 against Wake Forest. Well, I will say Florida State coming off the biggest win of the season against the Hokies. Sure. Wake Forest has been dominating recently. They're on fuego, Javon, looking like one of the best, most underrated teams in the ACC. If only somebody let you guys know that when we were doing the previews. Cough, cough, Javon did. But Wake Forest is on absolute fire. But I think we can all agree that spread's a little bit short. We saw Hunter Salas's points a little bit lower than it probably should be. This total's down a couple points. If Florida State wants to win this game, it's going to have to be with size and defense. Wake Forest is going to want to run and put up tons of points. That's what they fucking do. I lean Florida State, but they've also been on fire recently, and I don't think they're as good as they've been playing. So I'm going to stay off this game. And maybe even the under is a decent look with that total moving down between these two squads, because if Florida State wants even a chance in this game to cover or keep it close, and looking at that short spread, I think they do, the game's going to have to go under. And if Wake Forest covers, the game's going to soar, in my opinion. There is a correlation there with those two bets.
Yeah, I could say there is a little bit. I think Florida State kind of makes them super uncomfortable to start, and then like Wake kind of pulls away at the end. So one weird one, we're talking about prize picks that I think is going to be, it's pretty like correlated with the game when I'm talking about it. Go to prize picks and go to Kevin Miller and go to his rebounds, Goots, and put that chart up on the board, which it's not just like it's up there for no reason, but there's a reason that it's up here. It's minus 125 to the over. This feels very, who is it? Caleb Love assist wise, like kind of that square, but it makes sense because FSU is, I believe, one of the tallest teams in college basketball. In Wake, like they love to run, but they're not very big. Efton Reed makes a huge difference on the inside, and they're definitely a little more of a physical team with him in there. But this is going to be like a gang effort from literally all of the Wake guards, whether it's Kevin Miller, who's on the board, and I'm going to take this square, or it's even Hunter Salas is going to get involved. Cam Hildreth is going to have to get involved. Like they're all going to have to get involved, because if they don't, Wake is going to get this game run away from them very, very quickly. So like that's the part that I think is going to happen in the first half and have them very uncomfortable. But I think they kind of settle in and kind of run their game after that, because FSU still does want to run in transition. It's just they're a little bigger, so it gives them a leg up there. So I think FSU first half is not a bad play in my head. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to play that, but I definitely am playing the square.
All right. Someone explain this Kansas State line to me. West Virginia's Garbo. Bet West Virginia and go about your day. Bet lines on teams. Petawatt, you might like this play. Looks like a lot of people are betting the over in Yale Brown. Contrarian under. The total didn't move up 2 points maybe, but I think I'm good on that. But yes, the over is definitely public, but it's moving up. So I think I'm good on that one now. But good eye, and I always love any questions or any plays that you guys have and want advice from or whatever. Throw them in chat, as always. If the squad riders Baylor, I'm fucking wailing it. Eesh.
Oh, Lord.
Eesh. Okay, we'll talk about that game soon. All right. Any Central Mich versus Eastern Mich?
Nah, no action for me. The only action line that even caught my eye was maybe Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Any Northern Illinois, assuming no? Okay. I know I heard some people, I tweeted out this morning asking what people's favorite college basketball plays were. Espresso Bets, who's pretty sharp with CDB, was talking about Northern Illinois being his favorite play today. So I figured we at least take a peep at it. I don't like it after the line flip because they did open up a favorite and now they're up to +2.5. But they're on a crazy losing streak, and Western Michigan's coming off of 2 straight wins as outright dogs to Miami of Ohio and Buffalo as +5 and +3 dogs. So I definitely like the spot for NIU, but I don't like the line flip. So I'm probably good on that game, but I definitely lean the Huskies on the road there.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Okay. And you like Ohio here? I believe that line also flipped against the Bowling Green team, who, by the way, I believe in what they're building. I like this coach. I listened to him in Spaces a couple months ago before the season. I like what they're building, but that doesn't mean we don't fade the heck out of them today at home when that line's flipping and Ohio's playing like crap. Bowling Green coming off a loss to Akron where they got put in their place with that fat spread. Seems like they came back down to earth there. Probably should have been on Akron in that game, to be honest with you, with how fat that spread was. Ohio is coming off of finally getting a win against NIU, like we were just talking about before that. They lost and didn't cover 4 games in a row. They were playing like moose shit. Ohio, typically a team that dominates this conference, typically much better than 7-7, but they've got some serious rebuilding to do this season. Definitely like seeing that line flip, Javon. I'm with you, but tell me what you like about Ohio today against Bowling Greens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like too much. I'll just say, like, that's the line that caught my eye. And then when I think about, like, the trajectory that both those teams on, because, like, that Akron game, you mentioned it, I was on Akron in that game, and it seems like this is not just like that wasn't like a one-off thing for Bowling Green. I think they're going to continue kind of falling from what they have been early in the season because they really didn't play anybody. And now I see an Ohio team that's, winless on the road, hanging as a favorite against Bowling Green. So I think it's the takeoff for Bowling Green is only going to keep happening.
Okay. All right. Keep fading Bowling Greens as they continue to regress. They're probably not a 10-14, but I do like what that program is doing, and I like their new coach.
Dude,
Any Toledo plays?
Trent got to mix in a water, man.
Yeah. Trent, hope you're having a good time there, bro. Recharge that battery. Remember, vacations, you don't need to place 20-unit nukes on vacations. You could always just rest up and recover and recharge the battery. Okay? No one's holding you at gunpoints. But we'll give you plenty of plays and plenty of options today for the Fugazi 5 and for you to nuke a play, because I know that nothing I say is going to stop you anyways. All right? But let us help. Let us help. Oof. Did the Clippers win last night?
They did. I think that Bozo pack hit, right?
Oh, the Bozo pack hits. Did the Avs close it out too, chats?
Yeah, the Avs won at OT. I wonder I wonder how much he lost on the tables after collecting that coin.
We might need a trend update real quick. It's up to you, Beast.
Do need an update.
It's up to you, Beast. I'll send you the link. All right. No pressure, though. But if you want to come up and give us a rundown of what you've been doing down there, and we can see how fucking sunburnt you are. I can only imagine, since you hate sunscreen. The door is always open, Trent. Okay. No pressure there, buddy. You're on vacation. Recharge that damn battery, bro. You don't got to send 30-unit nukes every day. You're not going to do any resting up or recovering.
Unreal.
Unless they hit. Okay. Bozo pack banged Avs legacy. Let's fucking go, Trent. W's. Toledo, Kent State. Anything there, Javon? I'm good on that game.
Yeah, I'm good on that game.
Okay. We can finally talk about Buffaloes because everyone wants to talk about Buffaloes in chat. Everybody's obsessed with them. Seems like it's everybody's P of the D today. Look, Buffalo's 2-12. I know they're terrible, and we actually smacked on Buffalo 2 games ago for their first D1 win of the season. Am I in a rush to go back to them after that? No, especially with how bad Miami of Ohio has been playing as well. And they're also one of the most inconsistent, weirdest teams in that conference. They could beat anybody in that conference. They could lose to anybody in that conference. I hate betting on Miami of Ohio. They're all over the place. But sure, that spread is moving towards Buffalo. They're up to 2.5, depends on where you look. Not saying I lean Miami of Ohio in this spot. I lean Buffalo at home. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to get to the counter with Buffalo here at home. Guys, for conferences and teams like this, The stuff that goes on before they get into conference play doesn't really fucking mean anything because they're all playing different levels of competition. Some guys are going to tournaments to go get their dicks kicked in by good teams. Some are playing other moose shit teams and they're, padding their stats and moving up the Ken Palm. These two squads before they got into conference play could have been playing, the greatest teams versus the worst teams. And that's why their records are sitting right here. It doesn't fucking matter. Buffalo has been a much better basketball program over the last couple of years than Miami of Ohio. So it's not that crazy to see them as a favorite here at home against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I don't think it's insane. I will say, I can respect a Buffalo play from anybody who's trying to do it in the chat. But the one thing that scares the shit out of me, the reason why Buffalo is so god awful is because they're one of the worst 3-point defenses all in D1, and Miami, Ohio jacks threes. They're going to take 27 threes in this game in all likelihood. So weird shit can happen, certainly can, but I salute everybody with the Buffalo nuke. And this is probably the last thing I wanted to see. I fucking bet. Not bad.
Tailing it. Javon tailing took it with rent on Islanders. Okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
All right. Lazy River is fire. Holy smokes. A Lazy River will put you in a great headspace. That's facts. Took it for rent as new fake got short. I cannot believe people actually trusted or tailed that guy with no cam. No real slips. Okay. We move, we groove. Now we talk about Sela and Nicholls State. Javon, any thoughts?
Sela's ass, but this screams a game that they figure out how to make it close. So I would probably lean Sela, but I am not betting that game in the slightest.
What about OK State and Texas Tech? All right, any opinions here? Any thoughts here? I know Oklahoma State is coming off that brutal push/loss on the spread where Baylor dunked the ball with 0.2 seconds left at the end. Ended up pushing for me at +5. I'm still fucking mad about it. Texas Tech has been an absolute waggy so far this season. They're on absolute fuego, 12-2. They're streaking. They're playing well. They're covering. They're beating the shit out of people. They're coming off an outright win at Texas as +6.5 dogs to fraudulent Texas. Okay. I actually like a rare OK State road play here. I just think it's too many points and an overreaction. And I think Oklahoma State tasted that success in that last game. They were so fucking close to upsetting Baylor in that game. It was right there. They could have had it. Before that, they ripped off 4 wins in a row. They were playing good basketball, starting to get on fire. I just think this is too big of a line here between two teams who I think are a little more even on paper than they've been shown and playing recently. And I want to fade Texas Tech, who's just been on absolute fire, and they cannot keep getting away with it. Sure, I like that team. I like the coach, obviously. And I got no qualms with Texas Tech being good. I just don't think they're a 12-2 team. And I think OK State, it's too many points. Basketball brain play, I lean OK State.
This is another one of those games, which I guess you can say Oklahoma State's involved in a lot of them, but another one of those games just like Oklahoma State Baylor that just more often than not finds its way to be close every time. Even it doesn't matter what these teams look like at any point of the year. So even in Lubbock and Texas Tech, when you love Texas Tech coming off a massive win on the road at Texas, which is their Super Bowl. I mean, that team, every single Texas game, for very obvious reasons, they get up and they want to beat that team very badly. So this feels like a game to me that comes down to last shot. It's Oklahoma State, if it takes it into overtime again, so be it. But I think this game is gross. I think defenses lock in on both sides. Texas Tech's defense gets superpowers whenever they're in Supermarkets Arena there in Lubbock. So this screams to me like a 65-67 game. See a slight under, but somebody wins it at the end.
Okay. Under an OK State, a rare OK State road lean for me. Typically only bet that team at home because they have magical powers at home, but I love the spot for them actually on the road here rarely in that one. Lean right now. Don't know if I'm going to get to the counter. There we go. See ya. Diving into the Super Tuesday slate today.
Dude, you gotta put the sound on, bro. Sound at me.
Does it do the droplet noise? The little droplet. Why is he screaming like he's getting stabbed? There's no way it was that scary, bro. There's no way. Come on.
Unreal, man.
God, Trent. Oh, there we goes.
And there goes 3 racks of the tables.
There it goes. See ya. 10 units gone. Was so scary. All right, I'll give you that. It probably is kind of fucking scary. All right, I'm not a Heights guy either. So we got Mitch. We got Mitch's game and sub banging. What are we doing?
Come on, Goots.
That's Trent. That's Trent. He's a fucking train. Get down that slide, man.
Okay. All right. Let's keep on moving. We got a lot of CBB to go to. All right. Yeah, he was cooking down that train or cooking down that fucking slide. Sure. Richmond and Sister Jean. You taking the Spiders or you taking Sister Jean here? Richmond, better overall team, better coached. Loyola Chicago, better records. I lean the Spiders on the roads. I just think you take the better program here. And I think that spread maybe a speck short. It's definitely not fat. And Richmond's starting to find their stride a little bit. Winners of their last 4. I'll tell you what, Mooney, the coach, who was out last year with heart issues, these guys really rallied around, last year and made something happen. And this season, I still think they're playing for their coach, who is one of the better coaches in the A10. And I am not a Loyola Chicago guy who is continuously fake sharp and never comes through or respects coins. So I will lean Richmond on the road here against a 6-8 ATS Loyola Chicago team. Shocker, they're losing coins once again for people.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, too. If we're talking about teams like Buffalo who can't defend a 3 to save their lives, Loyola Chicago is also very, very bad. And they got lucky somehow. They held Duquesne to, I'm trying to find the exact number, but Duquesne shot like shit in that game. 6 for 21 from 3, which it was worse for a majority of that game because they came out cold as hell and finally hit a couple in the second half. But it's a good 3-point shooting team that they somehow held down, probably with no help of their own. So now they get to face another Richmond team that's even better than Duquesne at 3-point shooting. So something's got to give. And I know they're in home in both of these games, but I definitely would lean with the Spiders breaking that little 2-piece.
Sure. Can we please ride Orlando Magic money line? No. The Magic have won 2 games outright in a row, +10 and +2.5 in their last games. All I see on my feed, I'm not even an NBA guy, but I see people just roasting the T-Wolves, just spitting on them on the TL, just treating them like absolute rat meat, saying they're absolutely atrocious, and they're coming off another loss as favorites. Shocker. I'd say lay with Minnesota, who, by the way, why the heck are they laying 4.5 points up to 5 some places on the road to a team in Orlando who's playing pretty decent recently, and Paulo's been balling. Nothing really positive coming out of Minnesota. I think it's crazy they're laying 5 on the road. I kind of want to lay it myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one NBA spreader total I considered taking today. Actually, there's a total too, but I've seen it everywhere, so it's not my own. But yeah, the Wolves, pretty fat line.
Okay, sure. Let's go back to CBBs. We got to finish the job here. Duke versus Pitt. Javon, I know what you're on. Tell me about it. Go.
Not on it, but it's hard to not play Pitt. It really is. It's hard, but the only reason I'm not like running to the counter is because Duke has been pitiful on the road, which is kind of like I want to buy into it to a degree, but at some point it's going to end. But I mean, I'll probably end up on this by the end of the night because I do think Pitt is going to have a good game here. They match up pretty well with Duke, and they're going to make life tough. It's just a matter of can they hang on the inside? Because if they let Mark Mitchell cook on the inside, they are done. If somebody gets in foul trouble, like it seems like happens every single Pitt game, they're screwed. So I don't know what to do there. Blake Hinson's going to actually have to act like he is able to play basketball.
Yep. But you know what? I like his chances coming off some moose shit games. And I like Jeff Capel, who wants to win this game more than he wants to win any other game this season combined. Okay, Pitt, sure. They did bounce back in that last game and got a big-time win against Louisville, who me, Javon, and Trent could probably go out there with 3 guys and maybe even put up a chance and beat Louisville as well. They're terrible. Before that, 2 straight losses to UNC, to Syracuse. They looked like shit in both those games. Both those games should have been close. They really weren't. But they did bounce back nicely against Louisville in that last game. Duke, on the other hand, is on fuego right now. Sure, they didn't cover against Notre Dame in that last game on the road, but they did win, and they've won a bunch of games in a row. They're 8-6 ATS this season. Duke is taking care of business. I have to bet Jeff Capel and Pitt in a spot that just matters more. Fading a Duke team that has struggled on the road the last year and a half. I think we fade when they're on this little bit of a roll here and back Pitt with the points. Do I think Duke pulls out a win? Sure. This looks like a buzzer beater of the night. I've already seen it. Duke with a game winner. Maybe it's Filipowski do a little Dirk fadeaway down there in the paint, cashing it for Duke to win by 1 or 2. But I think Pitt's going to keep this one within a handful of points, and I'm going to be on the Panthers. One of my favorite plays today at home against a Duke team that just has not showed me enough life on the road to compete with a Pitt team that still needs to prove to the world that they've got some serious talents. We know Carrington is an absolute stud. He'll be carrying this offense. We need the rest of the boys to fucking step up, though. Just got to fade Duke and back Hinson to fucking figure it out. And Jeff Capel revenge game.
I mean, you have to convince me, but you just might have.
Pitt.
Duke seems to get out to slow starts this season, so I wouldn't mind a little sprinkle on Pitt first half.
Yeah.
Get in, get out.
Yeah, that would have paid against UNC too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would have paid against UNC. Yep. Don't hate that one bit, Goots. That could be sharp as a fucking tack. W's, Goots.
That might be it.
T-Wolves just moved to 5.5, by the way. MJ, bro, I'm sure you can get with me on that, you sharp mouth. T-Wolves.
Right. Sell me this pen on Nebraska, man.
Oh, shit. We're doing it again. Whatever the fuck that meme is. Has to be done. Fading Purdue. Has to be done, Javon. Nebraska fucking sucks. Sure, their record is okay, but the one thing Nebraska can actually do pretty well, okay, is shoot the damn 3. And what's the one thing Purdue can give up? The 3 ball. All right, I'm not saying they're going to go in here and beat Purdue outright on their home floor, but I love that spread coming down from -8.5 to -7.5. Purdue's been an absolute fucking donkey this entire season. Zach Edey's going to get his, and I'm sure he'll soar over his point square, but I have to fade this Purdue team that's one of the best teams ATS this season, who is just unstoppable with Nebraska coming off of a beatdown against one of their rivals, Wisconsin, in that last game on the road. Now they get to return home, a Nebraska team that plays insanely better at home. They have the shooters. They're going to have the open threes. It's going to come down to if they fucking make them, and with that spread trickling down, and with all the squares on fucking earth, with Zach Edey's J halfway down their fucking throats, I'm going to be fading and back in Nebraska when nobody wants them. When everyone bet Nebraska when Tumanaga's family came over here a week or 2 ago and they got fucking blown out, I'm going to back them in this spot at home with 7.5 points because they can keep up and they can outshoot Purdue. Tominaga. 2 words, Tominaga. He has a day today.
Yeah, I'll leave that one to you. I'll tip my cap for Nebraska on that one. But I will say, and somebody who's giving nuggets and chats to it kind of line up with that, we got to target some guards in this game. We have to, because that's where the game's going to be won. So, like, I don't know. I was going to turn it over to you if there is anybody, whether it's on Purdue or Nebraska, catching your eye. Tominaga. That's your guy.
I want to take the goat.
You don't want to take Fletcher Lawyer?
No. I want to fade him for no reasoning at all.
I mean,
I do see that square. I see why you're bringing that up, but I'm not fucking betting that. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, it just might hit.
We don't take Fletcher Lawyer more than it's in this house, Javon. That's like
Nebraska,
one of the very few rules.
So Nebraska, like, I know they don't have the same cast inside as like last year, but I don't know what it is. Something they have something with Zach Edey, and he's also better than last year. So I mean, that's a whole different question. But they have something with Zach Edey where they know how to defend him and take everything he wants to do away. So like somebody for Purdue is going to have to do it, dude. And I know you hate him, but Fletcher Lawyer just might have to be the guy.
Javon, you could literally show me the slip greened out tomorrow, take me on a fucking time machine, and I still would say we're not putting that shit in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty aware of that. But we do still have other guards. We have Lance Jones. He's on the table too. We could take Lance Jones.
Okay.
You got Braden Smith too. 2 other options. Fletcher Lawyer is definitely the nastiest looking square of the couple, but I would be down to back any one of these guys. Something.
You like points in this game with that total coming down?
A little bit. It's less. It's not like I love like points period in the game, but I think options wise, like not that I think Edey's going to get completely shut down, but there's avenues for these other guys to score points because I think they have the formula to some degree. So like if Nebraska's going to keep it close in this game, I think it's going to have to be pushed out towards guard play only, and somebody's going to tweak.
Chats, can we keep the lawyer comments out, please? It's supposed to be a good day today, a celebration of a national championship. Ron Rivera got fired yesterday. It's supposed to be a good day. Okay, we don't need to be bringing up Foster or Fletcher lawyer. Neither of them. Okay. What about Jones? What about Big Lance? He's coming off a 17-piece stuff. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, Javon, you're probably right with the lawyer square, and I don't want to stray anywhere else. So maybe you got to pair that with something else separately, but I cannot live with myself, look myself in a mirror, go to bed tonight if I lock in a lawyer more than. I just can't do it, man. Can't.
He did go 1 for 8 from the field last game.
Oh, my God.
Watching Braden Smith at Maryland, if Nebraska has bad perimeter defense like Maryland did in that game, he's trigger happy. So
I know, but we've seen him shoot so much recently, Goots, and this team has so many guys.
I knew you weren't going to like the chart, but it interests me a little bit.
Dude, two out of 3 of these Purdue guards, Jones, Lawyer, and Smith, are probably going to go more than their points in this spot. Because it's not going to be, like Javon said, it's not going to be the Edey show because for some reason Nebraska has some sort of fucking voodoo hex on him and has a way to slow him down at least minimally, unlike other teams. So it probably will hit. I would rather go with the other 2 guys if I took my biased hat off and actually would be willing to take Lawyer. But yeah, Javon, where do you stand with Braden Smith?
Well, for Nebraska, and I guess responsibilities delegated for Purdue kind of differently on a possession to possession basis. But for Nebraska, I have noticed the guys that are ball in hand, true point guards leading every possession. It's more the spot up shooters that are getting a lot of the work. We saw that with Indiana for a little bit. I think Trey Galloway had a couple of threes, guys like that. I think Wisconsin was same deal. I think Chucky Hepburn, when he had the ball in his hands, didn't really do all that much, but when he was, posted up on the wing, he was getting wide open looks. So I could very well see whoever doesn't have the ball in their hands on a given possession or whatever getting plenty of looks. So I guess Lance Jones could be that guy for a bit. But
Lance Jones is going to be dribbling and being the point guard the least out of those 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're looking for somebody to just stand in the corner and be fed a fucking wide open 3, sure, it probably would be him.
Yeah. So
maybe it's Jones.
Could be.
We got the Greek boy 14 coming in with a subby. I'm a Sac Kings fan. Just take Pistons plus 11.5 and sit back and watch us shit the bed. The Greek boy 14 saying, sure. I respect the heck out of that. Thanks for the sub bang beast. 4 months. We got Trickman coming in, resubbing with Prime. Love to see that. W's, gents. Let's keep powering through this slate, Javon. We got to finish up CBB, and then we'll touch on NHL and NBA briefly before we craft up a squad ride and do king of the board plays for you guys and give you our best bets. Okay. Texas A&M and Auburn. Auburn has been perfect this season at home. Auburn is a wagon. Javon, I know you hate fading Auburn, but it might have to be Texas A&M today on the road with that spread coming down. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not placing it because I have to be in love with the spot now to fade them at the Jungle. I think I did it once. I think it was the VT games, probably the only game I've done it, and I was in piss for it. So I love this Auburn team. Really weird that this line is coming down though. So I absolutely think it's Texas A&M. Am I pushing the button myself? No, but I probably should. So they're super banged up. Just got shit pumped by LSU. Auburn just beat, I know what was a sharp spot. I guess burned a lot of the sharps when they got down to 2.5 at Arkansas, and they dominated that game. So it's got to be an M, but I will salute anybody pushing the button.
I want to take Tyrese Radford more than 11.5 points today. He has not been balling recently. I think he has a solid matchup today on the roads. He's the more physical guard between him and Wade Taylor. I think Wade Taylor, whose points is way higher and does not look like more of a crab's play compared to Tyrese Radford's. I think Taylor will get strapped up minimally against Auburn, but I don't know anybody on that Auburn team who's going to be able to body up Tyrese Radford, the big guard who likes to drive to the rack. I think that's how they beat this Auburn team, not by hitting threes. Auburn's perimeter defense will be fine at home, but I want to take Tyrese Radford to be extra aggressive after some conservative games where he didn't put up that many points, didn't score that much, didn't shoot that much. Came back from an injury, was sick earlier this year. It's been a weird season for Tyrese, but let's not forget, he is the guy, the glue of this team. He is the leader of this team. Sure, Wade Taylor is the best scorer on this team, but I want Tyrese Radford to have the ball in his hands. And in this game against a pretty decent 3-point perimeter defense, I think it will be Tyrese going to the fucking rack, hitting free throws, and scoring more than 11.5 points today.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, obviously have some small guards for Auburn that could get picked on. Here's the Fugazi 4. Baylor,
I'd rather him
Cincy,
send a Fugazi 4.
Wolves, Islanders. Yeah, my
Thoughts
best
on the Islanders? I haven't
my
looked at the
best
hockey
bets are
plays yet.
Moose. Yeah, I mean I'm on the Islanders, but
Good.
hearing rumors that bozo on Twitter's on them, not great, but they are winning. So I mean I'm down.
All right, so we're gonna have to talk about Baylor too. I don't think we've gotten to that game yet either.
Here's where we lose it.
And there it goes. See ya.
Leafs -300 in the lay.
Speaking of Baylor, here's a great game tonight against BYU. I'm so stoked to watch this game, Javon.
I said, they're up to 4.5.
Yeah, that line keeps on moving and grooving. BYU coming off of a loss to Cincinnati at home when they were -10. They lost by 11 in that game. Baylor already had their bad losses. I guess not even bad losses. They already had their losses against Duke and Michigan State earlier this year. They bounced back since then. Have gotten 3 straight wins. Didn't look great against OK State in that game, but that is a really tough place to play on the road, and they still squeaked out a win. That's impressive enough for me to tip my cap and say Baylor's playing decent basketball right now. Maybe the BYU magic is starting to waver. Maybe BYU is starting to come back down to earth a little bit. I think we could all agree they probably weren't as good as they were playing in the beginning of the season. They were just on absolute fire and everything was going their way. Maybe we start to see this BYU team regress a little bit, but I still do think they're one of the better teams in the country, Javon, a top 20 team at least. And I don't really want to fade them coming off their worst loss of the season.
Yeah, I kind of do.
You do?
Kind of do.
Tell me why.
So let me give you my take on how to beat the Baylor Bears.
Go.
You do it by absolutely running to the rim and making them defend the rim, because what they do deceivingly, like you think Baylor and you think high scoring. So like what do a lot of the up tempo teams have in common? Like you would think they have a really bad 3-point defense, or they give up at least a lot of attempts. Baylor is one of the best 3-point defenses in the country, which, first of all, talked about BYU and that loss against Cincinnati. You want to know why they look like shit against Cincinnati? Because they didn't go to the rim, and Cincinnati's another team with a really good 3-point defense. That's a massive hole in BYU's game that is kind of the issue with why they're maybe a little more respected than they should be. And I still like BYU. I don't think it's a overrated situation necessarily, but like in some matchups, I think they're going to struggle. So like now they're going on the road after just getting that exposed at home against a really good 3-point defense and a team that you have to get to the rim against. And they didn't do that. They didn't even try against Cincinnati, and they really haven't all season. It just hasn't burnt them because they've played shitty teams. So that's going to be a problem today. It's like they're going to get run off the line. And yeah, Mia Stepbro is not doing shit. With all due respect, Misi, he gets into foul trouble a lot because a lot of teams run to the rim and they make him defend at the rim. BYU really doesn't do that. So like if he's able to stand in there and be confident and play the paint well, and BYU is going to get ran off the line, like Baylor, I think this is a really good matchup for them. And on the offensive end, I think they score at will too. So like it's not much on that perimeter defense for BYU. They're pretty much all traffic cones, and Baylor's going to run a lot of 5 out, then also a lot of pick and roll. So like that's really where BYU gets absolutely cooked when you put Mia Stepbro out there. So I think Baylor destroys BYU. Helps that this is also, I talked about this with DeGen talked about this with UCF when he got duped a little bit, and their first true road game in the Big 12. Welcome to your first true road game in the Big 12, BYU, and not just any, but Baylor's new high school size arena that is quite literally built small and with the seats on top of the court, so the home field or home court advantage is amplified times 10. So good luck.
It's not going to be easy.
No.
I'm with you. Now, the only chance they have is if Traore is just an absolute fucking machine and plays extended minutes and turns into Shaq, because he's really the only physical big that BYU has. Waterman is, by the way, hilarious. You guys remember that clip from earlier this year we showed from BYU where he was screaming and cursing, but he like muted himself because he goes to BYU and he didn't want to curse?
Yeah.
Waterman's actually a pretty fucking good baller. Not going to lie, but he's like Slender Man built like, right? He's not really going to be causing any issues in the paint there. Traore could. We know our guy Mia Khalifa Stepbro is, more out on the perimeter and as a big man, almost like Jokic than he is in the paint, just more of a passer, honestly. So you're right. I agree. It probably is Baylor in this spot. Unless Traore has the game of his career, he's going to need to keep it close. They're probably kicked, and they probably lose their second game in a row.
Yeah, I think they're going to get cooked. I mean, like, not even on the inside, because, like, you're going to have Missy in there on Traore for a majority of it. But then you have Mia Stepbro and whoever's playing the three, I guess, on one of the better stretch defenders in the Big 12, and Jalen Bridges, who's the glue guy, really on both sides of the ball. But I think it's a really big matchup problem for BYU, which is why, I mean, BYU looks awfully enticing at a +4.5 after Baylor just got taken to overtime by Oklahoma State on the road, which that game is, like I said, always close. And tell you who they need to show up today. They need Jacoby Walter to show up, because he shot 2 of 12, I think, from the field in that game against Oklahoma State. Obviously a much better defense. So I would love to see a huge bounce back from him today. And if he comes out hot, they're not losing this game.
Agreed. Love that bounce back spot for one of, if not the best freshman in the country, coming off of a 7-point letdown. Okay. At home, he bounces back and he carries his Baylor team to maybe not a cover, but at least a win. Okay. I do think they covered. They're gun to my head after talking through that. BYU's going to have to play perfect, and on the roads with that new stadium playing at Baylor, good fucking luck, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
Good luck.
I bet.
All right. Awesome. Finishing up a couple late night Geysermans here, chats. I got nothing in Vandy LSU's, unless you do.
No.
Okay. How about a letdown spot for Utah State here against our Wyoming boys? No Maldonado coming out. I wish he was. God. But it still could be Wyoming here. +15. Down for +15.5 against a Utah State wagon coming off of that elite win where they cashed that 3-unit whale for us the other night. It's been going a little too well. Things are a little too quiet right now for Utah State, and they welcome in a scrappy, very well coached team with a dickhead head coach who is not going to take his foot off the gas. He's such a dick that a lot of your kids on the team last year quit the team when they were playing so terrible. He's that type of guy, and he's going to bring the energy and want to pull off an upset, biggest one of the year for Wyoming on the roads when they're coming off a bad loss to New Mexico, and they've only won 1 game in their last 4, and they haven't covered in almost a month. So Wyoming, after a decent start to the year that nobody expected, actually playing pretty well in the beginning, really has come back down to earth. I do like the points, though, with them against a Utah State team. It's more just a fade on them after that big win.
Yeah, I definitely think it's Wyoming as the play here in this game. I probably won't get to the counter with it, but
same.
Probably is a big letdown spot for Utah State.
Okay.
Could be the double pokes parlay. Wyoming and Oak State.
Okay. Nasty.
Gross.
That's nasty.
Gross.
Creighton DePaul, nothing from me. I really prefer not to bet DePaul. Okay, good. Here's something we got to talk through. Colorado State and Boise State. Javon, I'm on the Broncos. Or I will be on the Broncos. I'll tell you that, chat. I've seen some sharp people, though, on Colorado State. I'm curious what your thoughts are in this game. I know Colorado State is coming off of that loss. I know Boise State is starting to catch fire, and I don't think they're as good as their record is right now. But at home, I do think that spread is still short, and I want to back Boise here, getting 2 points against Colorado State and the Rams, who just saw that they are beatable in that last game, and I don't know how they're going to bounce back on the road at Boise. Really tough place to play. We know that home court advantage matters the most in the Mountain West, pretty much besides the Big Ten out of any other conference. So I like Boise State here. I don't think they're great, but I think that spread is short, and I want to fade Colorado State for a second time.
I don't. I think it's Colorado State, personally. The problem with Boise State is they haven't really beat a team. They haven't really played many teams that are going to push the tempo really, period, but they haven't beat a team that is able to push the tempo pretty consistently, and that's kind of a problem because they're missing like a Marcus Shaver kind of stand-in, like somebody who can confidently lead the offense and control the tempo and control the pace of the game, especially against a team that if you don't, it's going to get out of hand very, very quickly. Looks like we got some total Slayer bombs too. Massive 10 bomb. Sure.
10 piece.
Shout out Slayer.
10 piece. Let's go Total
Slayer.
Slayers.
Love that.
Sure.
Love that.
Go blue. Go blue, Total Slayers. Let's fucking go, chat. Can we get some W Slayers going? 10 of you guys just got fucking free subbies from the GOAT. Let's get some W's going, even if you didn't get one. W Total Slayer. Let's fucking go, beast.
That's huge. Huge W Slayer. But yeah, I don't like Boise State kind of the way they're built. Because like Max Rice, whenever you need the guy to have a good game, he goes ghost, and you can't play like a true point guard. He plays like a spot up shooter, which he kind of belongs being to a degree. He's not like a dominant on ball player, but against Colorado State, they're going to be missing that. So now I don't really know what to do. I can't really trust them. The line maybe is a little short, but after Colorado State's collapse, on Saturday when we faded them then, I think they probably win this one. Take this one.
Okay. People in chat are saying they were surprised Boise wasn't a favorite. I looked into it a little bit, checking out the Ken Palms, which a lot of these lines come from. Looks like Colorado State is still 25th in Ken Palm, even after that bad loss. Boise State is all the way down to fucking 66. So I don't think they should be favored, even if they are at home. I know home court advantages do matter a ton in that conference, and the spread should be a little closer, but I don't think it's safe to say that Boise should be a favorite in this spot with how much of a wagon Colorado State has been with Isaiah Stevens, one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they should be a favorite. I think it's a relatively fair line.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I hate this play, but I have to take Boise in this spot.
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay. Tell me about the Irish and Georgia Tech. Rumor has it you have a play in this game.
So I was going back and forth between the over and Georgia Tech for a while because I think Georgia Tech does roll in this game. I also like the over, so smart play, I guess, technically would be go with a Georgia Tech team total over. But I was a little shocked to see this total move up from 131.5, 3 points up to 134. And this is a really low total for a Georgia Tech game, but not so much from Notre Dame. And on paper, if you think Notre Dame's going to stay in this game, which I'd say maybe the line's a little short with them being on the road at Georgia Tech, then theoretically you would need it to I would say I would need the line to stay where it is total-wise, but I don't think Notre Dame's going to be able to stop Georgia Tech's offense, realistically. I think the guards are going to dominate that perimeter defense, and, I mean, who in their right mother in Notre Dame's front court is going to do anything against Georgia Tech and what they're going to do down there? Like, what is this, bro? We got a Schefter tweet. Trading me, Shelly, and 3 first-rounders to Sportsline. And we're sending Kenzie's coach. I bet, man. Coach and cash considerations. Getting Tuggy for rent, Trell Jones, and others still left on the market. I bet. Trent, man.
This motherfucker's got too much time on his hands today.
Yep. He's
too much time.
Wallowing in Washington money line, unfortunately.
Trent, if you're bored, dude, send Goots the teams and players that fucked you over the most in 2023. We're trying to make a graphic for you, talking about all the cake. Send Goots the players, the teams that fucked you over the most this past year, if you can. That's what we need. We don't need Javon Deeb, Shelly trade scenarios. Okay.
Woj, man.
Unbelievable.
Woj is crazy. But
too much time on his hands.
Yeah, back to what I was saying. Miles Kelly, Kobe Reeves going to grub against those guards that are traffic cones for Notre Dame. But also, I mean, Bay is going to grub. I don't know how to say his last name, but Ndongo, or however you say his name, for Georgia Tech, he is going to grub. There's nobody in Notre Dame's front court that can guard that man. So plenty of second chance points, probably plenty of trips to the free throw line as well. But I think Notre Dame can hang in for a little bit offensively. Like they've looked a little better. Especially like getting to the rim, they've looked a little bit better the last couple of games, and they've had random like spike shooting games, which who knows if they're going to have that on the road at Georgia Tech. But that's why I took the over, just in case we have one of those spike games for Notre Dame, and they look like they did against Virginia very, very briefly. So I like points.
Points. 2 words, points. Totals up. I like it. What about these other late night Geysermans? I know you probably don't want to talk about Air Force. Might bring up some bad moments.
Get them off my screen, man.
Okay. What about UNLV? I'm not in a rush to bet them. I don't really think they're that good. Do you lean them, though, +2 at home against a much better New Mexico team, or what?
Yeah, I definitely do. Partially because, like I was saying, I think when they played FSU, UNLV, their only strategy, they're kind of like a mini FSU. Like they just want to rim run and be more physical than you and bigger than you. And we all know how New Mexico plays and their style of ball. It's like they're playing in a YMCA rec game. So, I mean, I definitely would lean UNLV. That's like a late night decision guy, though. We'll see how the bets are shaking out. And last resort, UNLV +2.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely lean UNLV's. That spread is short. New Mexico's been a wagon. Now, I do think UNLV stinks and they're overrated, and I think New Mexico is the best team in that conference, and they will show that by the end of the year. But remember, we bet lines, not teams, and sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do, and those are the best bets of the fucking night. And unfortunately, tonight, that could be UNLV's. At home, they're bigger. They have home court advantage. The spread's short. New Mexico is small. They got guards. I think UNLV could use that size to their advantage in this spot. And potentially get an outright win, their biggest win of the season, Q1 win against a really good New Mexico team.
Sure. Man.
Mahoney, I'm with you, bro. Damn, breaking. Chelgod did not pass his physical. Details are unknown. The trade might be going back to square one. Javon, you're sticking with us, brother.
Unreal. No, they might package you in with me now. It's unreal.
We got Padawat giving out a subby to Hovey. Let's go. Subbing up the mods. Love to see that. I feel like the mod should be subbed anyways, but love to see that Padawat, team player. All right. San Diego State, Jose State. Anything there?
Yeah, hard pass.
Okay. I'm good on that too. Any other late night guys or men's, or is that the last game of the night? I believe it is.
I think it is.
Okay, good. Let's pivot real quick. NBA. I know we briefly talked about the T-Wolves. The more I think about it, the more I look at it, the more I see that line move up. I want to take the T-Wolves today. I'm not going to lie to you. I do.
Yeah, I definitely like the T-Wolves. Definitely like the T-Wolves. Total's down fat too, which is not uncommon for a Magic game, but we did just see a relatively low total, I guess, for a Nuggets game that they just played when they beat them on the road outright and they're the squad ride. That soared over pretty easily. So to see it back down to 217 is probably pretty indicative of what's going to happen. I know they had the game against the Hawks too, kind of a sandwich in between where they were dogs and they covered on the road with an outright win, and it's probably going to come crashing down, unfortunately, for the Orlando Magic.
Okay. All right. Minnesota. Lay it. What else do you like in the association?
This one is I looked at this just kind of as like a casual better, and then I saw a couple of people on Twitter that kind of liked it. Thought this was a decently high total for a Raptors-Lakers game. And I know the Raptors have been seeing some higher totals, and the Lakers defensively have been god-awful, but I mean, that just seems like a perfect match for a little bit of pace, especially after the Lakers finally just played like a slugfest of a game against the Clippers, last time out, and they won that game. Big emotional win. Now they're -4.5 at home against the Raptors, who have obviously had some lineup shakeups with the trade. So, I mean, if we're going to target a bunch of guys to shoot threes like I've done, probably coincidentally with a couple of squares that have ended up being against the Lakers, the Raptors just might look like the Warriors tonight. So I just looking at this total definitely made me look twice. I looked at the Celtics Pacers last night and saw a couple smart people on it and kind of agree. I think this one soars.
Okay. A little over in Toronto and Los Angeles. Maybe the Lakers try to build on some momentum for that win the other night and put up some points today. I know LeBron's been bitching plenty. Maybe that's when we get some Lakers points.
Yeah, and let's go to, before you go off, quick prize picks board check, because we got to discuss this. Has to be talked about, because probably going to end up with POD, the worst player in the NBA, as the POD. I mean, he's fucking terrible.
What is up with that?
I mean, he's going to see some more volume because Cade Cunningham is out for a little bit, it seems like, which when he's playing without Cade, he actually looks somewhat decent. But this guy is absolutely – Isaiah Livers is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
The guy has only shot more than 2 threes twice in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Well,
the guy doesn't even shoot threes, and he shoots 26%.
Yeah, those are all games with Cade. So, I mean, Cade's out, so the volume's going to naturally increase. But the fact that it's up on the board when everybody is very well aware that he and, I guess, he's the worst player in the NBA. The only other option is Killian Hayes, who is also up for props today and on his team. So, I think it's up for a reason. And if this is where I lose you, I mean, I'm glad to do it, but this is just a square that has to be taken today. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry. He's going to be spotted.
No, I'm in on that.
He's going to wet too, man.
I'm in on that. Got to play devil's advocate. Got to talk through it, but I think we can both agree that I am more than down to take a square like that.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
It's going to have to be done, unfortunately.
Chat, look at that square for a second. Don't even talk. Just look at it. Feast your eyes. What does that tell you, that square? How does that square make you feel, chat? Let me know. Because it makes me feel like I want to nuke the more than. That's how it makes me feel. Let me know.
Yeah.
All right. Any other NBA plays before we move to the ice?
No, we go to the ice.
Okay. And rumor has it, Battle got bumped up to 17.5 on Prize Picks for West Virginia. Love to see that.
Did he?
Love to see
soar.
That. He's going to soar, folks. He's going to soar. All right. But real quick, Javon, take us through the ice. Any plays we need to be taking today?
Yeah. So, I mean, my favorite play, unfortunately for the collabs on Twitter and Trent's Fugazi, is the Isles. Minus 120-ish today. Which we talked about this little road trip, which they actually had a third piece of the road trip, which is interesting. But I think you've heard me talk about the New York trip, where teams are going to play the Rangers and the Islanders. And I think that's a pit of hell that no team can come out unscathed without at least one loss. Well, now you add the Devils into that. So it's New York, New Jersey road trip. They just beat the Devils, scored 6 goals in that game. They dominated the Rangers last night, scored 6 goals in that game. Now they're coming off a back-to-back, probably the worst team of the three, or at least the team of the three that has the most question marks on it. And now they're a plus price on the road, which is pretty interesting. So I like the Isles in this game. I think it's going to be a game where you see the uncharacteristic, like Canucks not put up shots on net because the Islanders defense is going to look like the Islanders defense of old, but they're also going to be pretty sound offensively and put up a lot of goals in this game. So I think the Islanders score early, score a couple, maybe get 2 in the first. I think this one can get ugly. So I definitely hate fading the Canucks, period, because they're the luckiest team in hockey, but I definitely like the Isles.
Okay. Isles. Sure. What else?
Ducks plus 1.5 today.
Oof.
Like that. That's down there too. Kind of a nasty play, but the Ducks, not as bad as people think, just effort-wise, because personnel, they've had some issues, whether it's trades, whether it's just guys in and out of the lineup for different injuries at different times. Like, that's realistically why they've been as bad as they are the last couple of weeks, really the entirety of the last couple of months since their little Mickey Mouse run at the start of the season. So against the Preds show up when you least expect it. They just went on the road and beat the Stars, and they have an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. This is like a weird standalone game because they just played at the Stars, beat them, which not many teams can say because the Stars are really good at home. They beat them on Saturday. They play the Ducks today, and they have a big layoff until Friday where they start a absolutely brutal stretch of games. Like, this seems like the weird game that before all that, they kind of slip up, and I think the Ducks make this one super interesting. I wouldn't be shocked to see this one go into overtime, which is why I'm taking the plus 1.5, lay the minus 130. It's my favorite little price to lay on the plus 1.5 too.
Sure.
So I like that. Can keep going, Goots. Don't know if there's much else that I love. I think the Oilers beat the shit out of Blackhawks, but it's not a hot take. The Senators kind of want to do it today on the road. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God.
If you want to take like the smart approach to this game, I would say wait until the Senators, they have one good period a lot of the time. So like they'll come out and they'll score 3 goals, which I think a couple of times we've bet on them squad ride wise, it's been exactly that. They score like 2 or 3 goals in the period, build the big lead, then sell it, or vice versa. They go down a lot early, then they have a really good period to bring them back into the game, and then whatever else happens. So if you want to be smart, wait until that happens one way or the other and take a plus 1.5 at whatever you can, because I think this game is going to be close, maybe another overtime game, but I think they're going to come out. The one thing you can count on with the Senators pretty consistently, like lately, they're going to be ripping puck. So, like, this is a Flames team who doesn't necessarily give it up very much, but I can tell you, I think they're going to give it up today. So I like a couple, like, props for the Sens from SOG's guys that I got to get in the lab with. But if you want to umbrella it, just take Markstrom Staves, because I think he's going to be getting absolutely pelted, just like we saw the Penguins pelt Carter Hart with shots yesterday. So I think he's going to get pelted, which he's not really used to, because that Flames defense has been pretty solid. So I think this is going to be a little game of chaos. And I see a couple of shouts in chat for SOGs in the Sens. I will certainly get involved in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably an extent of what I like. Markstrom saves, and then we're going back to Matthews' assist today, too. It's also on the board.
I wish Calgary wasn't coming off with 2 straight losses as favorites, because then I would definitely be on Ottawa in this spot, but definitely lean that way with you. If I had to take a single hockey play today, that'd probably be it for me.
Yeah, it's just like the Flames. That was like a weird road trip, super weird road trip, and I don't know. They're another team that just comes to play against the better teams lately for whatever reason. Then they shit the bed against the Blackhawks and shit the bed against the Flyers and whatever they should have done in that game. But yeah, I think they come out ripping today. The Sens do. So again, Markstrom saves, and that Matthews assist might interest you today. I'm just saying.
I'll look at it.
It's the same game. It's the same game. It's the same game that they played on Saturday, except it's back on the board and it's higher juice towards the over today.
I'm down to take it if you love it. I'm just going to say what I said last time. It's still a Matthews more than.
I know.
And taking a Matthews more than does not make me feel good. That's all I'm going to say.
It doesn't. Today, it's hitting, though. I can tell you. I feel
pretty good.
Feel pretty good about Matthews.
All right. Dubs, chat, we will craft you guys up some sort of prize picks entry later today. But for now, we got to start crafting up king of the board plays.
Yep.
Goods, W reminder. Love it.
Yeah.
Javon, I'll let you go first since you might need it here. Already down 1 unit this week. Any plays for king of the board today?
I feel like I should. I don't want to use all my plays, man.
Whatever you got to do to win.
So I don't know when we're going to get a slate this good again, man.
I know.
Give me Baylor. And give me the Isles. We'll get 2-piece today.
Baylor spreads and Isles ML?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to go. I'm going to go Iowa State. I'm going to go Pitt.
Ooh. I wasn't expecting a Pitt shout.
And I'm going to go Nebraska.
That might be the first 3-piece in one day.
First ever 3-piece.
Hold the fry for king of the board. That is going at least 2-1, maybe 3-0. People are talking 3-piece. Iowa State spreads, and I'll get you these numbers after, Goots. Nebraska spread and Pitt spread. Those 3. Okay.
There's Javon betters out there -2.5 units. So you gotta.
Yeah, they're in Moose.
They're kind of in Moose right now.
We'll see how it goes. Javon's got 2 plays today. I got 3. Chat, we'll tweet this out on Book at BTL. I do love West Virginia. I will be on West Virginia today. I promise Borden. That was an honorable mention along with Boise State. There's going to be, I'll be honest with you, it's going to be tough to cut the plays down to less than 10 today in college basketball. I might just cut the units down and deploy away because there's too many plays I like. Might have to go less volume and more plays. Smaller bets, more plays. We'll see.
Sure.
I'll probably just end up sending 10 1-unit geysers and grow up. All right?
Yeah, that's fair.
W's, king of the board plays have been locked. Chat, it's about that time. Goots, run that shit. Sure. Look like Trent sliding down the damn slot. All right, let's fucking stay hot, chat. We got 6-0 squad rides to start out the year in 2020. I believe it's 6-0. Unbelievable run. Knock on wood. Probably just jinxed it, but it has to be said, has to be known, chat, because people aren't talking about it enough. All right. Squad ride. We got to smack the POD today. If you guys are new, we do this every single day at the end of the show, and we all tail, and everybody in chat votes on it, and you guys click the right buttons, and we all win, and we count our guap. It's really that simple. It's been an unbelievable 1.5-ish. We are 183, 125, and 4 all time, and 6-0 year to date. Let's stay hot. Okay, keep the blinders on. Don't lose your focus. Don't click the bet. Don't click the game or play that's just the most exciting or on TV. Chat, do what you've been doing, and click the fucking winner today. Click the right button like you've been doing. All right, sharpest chat in all the lands. Let's get you guys some options for today. We have plenty of options today. Holy smokes. I guess we can start with pulling from our king of the board plays. I'm assuming those are probably our favorites, Javon.
Yep.
How much you like the Islanders?
Quite a bit.
Okay.
I wish I had seen that little road trip in advance, or else I would have done what I did with the Kings when they went on the road that one time and did the same thing. They were just taking it until now.
Okay. I'm down to put the Islanders in there. You seem very confident. I like the play as well. I lean that way. And I trust you with the hockey. And they're coming off a loss. Vancouver coming off 2 straight wins. Sure. Let's take them.
Sure.
I'm in. Islanders, I'm out. Now, how much you loving Baylor? You want to put them in there?
Quite a bit. I do not love the Baylor Bears as a organization or a university because they are big rivals with the Frogs. So when I'm taking them, and I actually am rooting for them, I try to pick the spots.
Okay.
And yes, Casey Smith is in net. No Demko for the Canucks.
Okay. I like Baylor. I don't love Baylor, but I lean that way. So if you're confident and you say the words that it's one of, if not your favorite play today, we're putting that shit in there right now.
Yes.
Okay. It's in. Baylor is up to 4.5.
Take it.
Good sign. All right. I would love to put in Iowa State.
Sure. I'm in.
Okay. ISU, let's see what they're sitting at. Probably a disgusting 2.5, which is hilarious, against an undefeated Houston team who's the best in college basketball. All right. Now you get to pick between all my other million college basketball plays. We got West Virginia, Javon. We got Nebraska, Pitt, Boise State, Alabama. Any of those ones looking to you funny? Any of those sound like winners to you?
I mean, you know how I feel about West Virginia, of course.
Okay, good. Let's put that in
Definitely in for that.
there.
Maybe we get a Goots pick for the 5th since we have 2 and 2.
Goots, give me the POD. What is it, brother? Let's see. Is Dub V 2.5? Or are they 1.5?
I see 2s.
I see 2s and 2.5s. Okay. Sure. We'll go +2.
Yeah,
Goots, you got a POD today, brother?
I mean, my favorite thing I said today was that Pitt first half. That
that could be
when it
so
rolled
true.
off the tongue, it felt good. But
That
definitely,
feels right.
yeah, that's definitely my favorite thing
Say no
that
more.
I've said.
We're putting it in there.
Put it
Good
in.
first half. Trust.
All right.
If Goots is giving a POD, if Goots is getting surgical, we're throwing that shit in there. Goots POD, and this is good because we can blame it on Goots too if it loses. Hit the
Great.
first half. Okay.
Sure.
It's a win-win, chat. All right.
Fun line
Goots, Pitt first half +2.5, I believe, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
on it. That's what I'm seeing
Right.
too.
Dubs. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. Let's stay perfect in the new year for the squad
You
rides.
got 3
Click
minutes,
the right
chat.
button. 3 is. Okay, Goots. Let's fucking go, Beast. 5 plays, 5 winners. The Islanders on the ice, on the ML. We got the Baylor Bears, -4.5. Sure. Iowa State and the Cyclones, +2.5 at home against undefeated Houston. I fucking bet. We've got West Virginia +2. Raekwon Battle might drop 100 points. And Pitt first half +2.5. Goots POD. Don't need to think about it twice. 5 plays, 5 winners. Go, 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 go. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I'm fucking hungry. I want to go get a snack. Hurry up. Vote, vote, vote. Go, go, go. I need a granola bar. I'm starting to get cranky. Hurry up. Click the right
People
button.
do forget this too.
People forget. Goots did talk. Second
Yep.
half.
Good. Devin, do not let that get swept on the rug. I appreciate that. Goots, you did your job last night. Do your job tonight.
Yep.
All right. Hell yes. So it's a lot closer than I was expecting. Same Lenny Bong. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Go, 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 go. Hurry up.
Wow, we got a tight race.
It's like 3 minutes.
You got a
Got
lot.
plenty
We got nobody coming up behind us now, so we're chilling.
I know, we're chilling. Already on Pitt first half. Good sharp. Freeze. Why do you think we fucking brought him in, bro? You think we're bringing in a fucking bozo? Come on. RG300 coming in, giving out a subby 3 minutes ago. RG300, you're a fucking beast. I like you more than RG3, which is not a tough ask, but after that sub bang, you did it. Jay Vale, sub banging as well 4 minutes ago. Love that. With a little heart emoji. WJ Vale. Hope we've been making you some money, beast. Chad, hurry up, get those votes in. There's no time. You got about 1 minute. Goots made this poll for about an hour today. Krabs might win king of the
Krabs.
board, but this play is not getting voted.
Krabs king of the board might be air.
I need to start seeing more Krabs under those damn tweets, or I'm going to start taking that personally, chat. I'm just saying. Still seeing a lot of milks. People think I'm the worst gambler on earth. I still don't get it to this day. This is like a mage race. Sure. Yeah, this is a sweat.
Yeah, Isles got some steam.
I'm shocked on Super Tuesday. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But maybe they listen to what I said. Click the best button. Doesn't matter what sport. Doesn't matter what time. If it's on TV, I don't give a shit. Click the right button that wins, chat. Trust your gut. Trust your stones. That's what's gotten us to 183, 125, and 4. That is fucking nuts, chat. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Seriously. 183, 125, and 4. Are you shitting me? That is unbelievable, and that is not even us. That is you fuckers clicking the right buttons day in and day out, working your tails off, being the sharpest chat out there on earth. This is why we keep winning bets. This is why we keep counting our guap, because me and Javon up here are fucking alley-ooping you guys winners, and you guys are slamming that shit down like fucking Baylor's about to do today against the fucking Mormons and BYU. It's that simple, all right? They're not going to be soaking in shit. They're going to be soaking in piss after this Baylor loss where they get blown out by 20 points on the road and get to play a real fucking team on the roads. BYU is a bunch of frauds, and they're going to get their dicks kicked in by a real basketball team in the first game in their new fucking arena tonight. And we're going 7-0 on the squad rides to start the fucking year out. Who else is doing this shit, chat? Nobody. No one besides us. All right? Rally around. All right? We're going 7-0. We're not fucking slowing down. The train doesn't stop. All right? And we're going 7-0 after this fucking Baylor win. I'm fucking jacked up. My accounts are fucking sky high. The units are being multiplied. They're growing. And we're not fucking stopping today on Super Tuesday, chat. Let's fucking go. Let's cash again today. It's the Baylor Bears. It's that simple. Drive milk tick. It all comes back to drive milk tick. All right, chat? We'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be fucking seeing when we're counting our guap. Javon.